All right, what is up? Coach Kyle here. And if you are tired of hitting the wall during your races, of being passed at the end, of running slower and feeling less energetic at the end of your races than the beginning, then here's how I go into a race looking to negative split it. I almost never get passed during my events because I take even or negative splitting so seriously, because I know the number one way to enjoy an event is to feel good during the event, to run it sustainably, to follow the 6 P's: proper pacing prevents piss poor performance. To do that and choose to make the final half, the final third of an event hard because you are running faster. I almost negative split the Boston Marathon. The last 5K and 10K of Boston were my fastest of the race, and that feels amazing. And so I'm going to show you a recent 4 miler I did. And the goal here was to beat one of my pre-kid time. My best time on this course was a 6:10 mile pace, and that was my goal. So going into this, with first step, go into the event with proper expectations. You got to be able to do, you need to be able to do what you expect to do, first of all. And so I knew it was doable, not going to be easy, but it was doable to meet that expectation. And so my first mile was a 6:09 average. What I do is, on my watch here, I'm looking at my current lap average pace, and it's auto lapping every mile. You can do it every kilometer. And I just want my current lap time to be within about 10, maybe 20 seconds plus or minus. And so I wanted to be about 6 to 6:10. Now, this is a flat course. It was net uphill for the first half and net downhill for the second half. So I knew running at goal pace for the first half, slightly uphill, I will ideally be able to speed up on the downhill in the second half. And that's exactly what happened. Now you can kind of average that out a little bit by, if your watch has a wattage, you can see here that for the first mile, my average wattage, which is kind of like a grade adjusted pace, was a 3:07. And I did glance at that a few times. And for reference, my 10K wattage is about a 300. And so I was running a little harder, a little faster than 10K, which was appropriate for a 4 miler. And so you can see here, I ran a 3:07 at a 6:09 pace. And then I ran a 6:03. And that was a little faster than I wanted to run, I admit. And I was really trying to slow it down, dial it back in that last third of that mile, and didn't quite make it, but I slowed down a little bit intentionally. And then the next mile was a 6:01, again at 3:07. So I basically ran the same kind of grade adjusted pace for the first 3 miles. And then you can see the final mile, I averaged a 5:45 and 322 watts. And so I've done races that were more, like significantly more uphill than this in the first half. And for events like that, where you might not really be able to negative split because it's, well, in that case, I've done also the other way around where it's uphill for the second half, in which case it's hard to negative split. But you can kind of look at your wattage if the course is kind of undulating or uphill for the first half or the second half, and you can keep it at an appropriate wattage. And so I knew that running at a slightly slower or easier than 10K would be appropriate for this. And so that's what I did. And you can see I ran, a 6:09, a 6:03 for the first 2 miles, and I was able to speed up. And that was because during these couple miles, I'm basically glancing at my watch every minute, and I'm just like, the first mile especially, okay, slow down, slow down, slow down. And the second mile, I even ran it faster than I expected, faster than I wanted to, and I was still trying to slow down as much as possible. So that is the way to do it, especially for shorter races like this. You really got to be mindful. The second half, the final third of every event is full of people barely shuffling forward who had a really good first half. But they had a good first half, but they were running too fast. They were huffing and puffing a half mile or a mile in, and then they expired. And you do not want to be like those people. It happens, but this is better and it's more enjoyable.